Now let's talk about some DNS terms that you're likely to see on the exam, and I just want you to kind of have a good understanding of these so they don't throw you. First of all, you may see DDNS, and this means dynamic DNS, and that is where your records in DNS are automatically updated by the client. The client gets a new IP address from a DHCP server, and it's automatically written into DNS. Now keep in mind, dynamic DNS happens automatically in Windows Server 2008. This is not something you turn on, it's just automatically happening. And especially when you integrate it into Active Directory, dynamic DNS is functioning. A forward lookup, this is what we normally do. When I type in www.microsoft.com and click go on a browser, it invokes DNS, and it's taking this fully qualified domain name, notice right here FQDN, which is Microsoft.com, and it searches the DNS records and provides an IP address so that I can go search out and find the resource that I'm looking for. Now, a reverse lookup is where I can provide the IP address and it will go find me the fully qualified domain name. So it's just the opposite of that. One's converting it from IP address into words, the other one's converting it from words into an IP address. And DNS can do both of those. Now you will also hear about a forwarder. You might read about this, and you also might see this on the exam. A forwarder is a DNS functionality that will simply send any DNS request that it can't figure out to a specific DNS server. And so a lot of times folks will put forwarders in places where you need DNS services, but they don't want to maintain a DNS server there. So they will put a forwarder out there, point all requests to the forwarder, and then it in turn points them out to a real DNS server somewhere. Now anytime you see the term legacy DNS, this means a DNS server that relies on manual updates of DNS records, and it also means not integrated into Active Directory. So just keep that in mind. And then resource records. A resource record is the actual data that's in the DNS database that we're doing all this for. And in a different video where I'll talk about configuring DNS, we'll kind of look through this, and I'll show you kind of on screen what all these different things are and some of these different terminologies, what they actually look like in real life. But for example, an A record or a host record is a resource record. A service record, an SRV record that points to our domain controllers, is a resource record. So anytime you've got an IP address and then a fully qualified domain name paired up in your DNS database, that's a resource record. Root hints. Now this is real interesting. Anytime I ask a DNS server for information, let's say I want to find marklong.com. Well, it doesn't have any clue where marklong.com is. So it will look at the com part, and it will then check this list of root servers that are out on the internet that are maintained. And it will look there, and it will say, where's a .com server, or where is one of the root servers? And it will find the IP address and jump it out to the internet, and then start the process of searching for the appropriate DNS server that has marklong.com. Where does this list of DNS roots come from? Well, they're standard out there, but they can also change from time to time, and you get the changes through the Microsoft Update service. And there is I think it's a cached DNS file that's out there. But anyway, you can actually go out and do some digging on Google and find out where these are. Root hints is a term that you might see or hear, but that's what's going on there. Anytime DNS doesn't know where to go, there's a list of the main DNS servers that are out there, the com, the gov, the org, the info, and all that, out there on the internet in standardized places. Now, there's a lot of terms to DNS, and again, I just want to encourage you, go out on TechNet and just read about DNS. Make sure it's making sense to you. And on the next video, I'm just going to step you through configuring DNS and show you some of the stuff in the interface and kind of help you connect the terminologies with the implementation.